When news drops, we got to talk about the players who are involved and what that means for our fantasy football teams and whether or not we need to make the move. And today, we just had some big news drop. Even though we knew it was going to happen, Austin Ekeler is officially out. That bumps up Joshua Kelley this week, and we need to be talking about Joshua Kelley because he might be on waivers. He might be on the back end of your roster. We need to look at him because he is a very interesting prospect off the waiver wire, off the deep end that we need to be looking at because this is a very layered situation. But before we dig into the stats and information, you have to click that subscribe button right now. Stop missing out on these deep dives because we're going over the advanced metrics for free on this channel, and I'm digging them up from all over the crevices of the internet to share with you guys. On top of that, I'm helping you set your waiver wires, helping you set your lineups, and helping you win your league. So let's get this started here. First things first, Austin Ekeler, he's out. I got like a bunch of different sources here, really 3. But still, Austin Ekeler's out. We all know this. We all got the alerts on our phone. And you're coming to here to see what to do next here. And it's Joshua Kelley time because he saw 16 carries last week, 91 yards, 1 touchdown. The thing about him was last year, he was a trendy waiver wire pickup towards the middle to late portion of the season due to him being Ekeler's backup, due to him getting touches. And now it just started like that this season. He also had a big run in the preseason. Things have been on the up. He had a 48.1% snap share. They were splitting the workload, and that might have been due to the ankle injury. But the game script popped off as this was the game of the week last week that we were looking at for fantasy football matchups. 36-34 Dolphins versus Chargers. Chargers in a negative game script pushing the passing game, and they want to throw the football. They want to move it downfield, and that's what they want to do. And Joshua Kelley now, with Ekeler out, is expecting to get the touches here. Looking at the receiving game here because we got to look at the passing game when we look at the Chargers because that's where the focus is at here in this offense. Opportunity share with both these running backs, that's touches and targets, almost split. 52.5 to Ekeler, 42.5 to Kelley last week. Looking good there. What that tells us is when Ekeler does come back, he's a standalone option in fantasy. A plug-and-play piece. A guy you play the matchups with and hope for the best. 1, this is an explosive offense. And 2, they want to get him touches because they don't want to wear down Ekeler. Ekeler's mentioned this in podcasts and in interviews before. They want to have a second running back to keep him going through the latter parts of the season. He's 28 years old. He's going to need this. He's going to need another back in here getting touches to help him out to get through the season. He's mentioned that before multiple times over the last few years. Ekeler, 5 targets last week. Kelley got 1, and the route participation rate was around 36% for Kelley. Ekeler was a bit higher, but the fact that he's getting around a 30 or so percent route participation rate with Ekeler, who is known to be the pass machine and out of the backfield for the Chargers, is a good thing because you know what? He's being used in a similar light, and he's got the gusto in his game to really bring it home. That being said, a 4.49 40-yard dash when he was coming out for the draft indicates he does have the explosiveness. We saw it in preseason with that long run he had for a touchdown. Good speed score. Everything checks the boxes when you're looking at his athletic specs. Good enough to get the job done. More than good enough to take it home for us in fantasy, as we saw last week. Again, not the most productive back. Not the most talented running back either, I can say that, but good enough to get the job done in a situation that can boost his production because he's in a situation that's moving the chains, moving the football, looking good. But the matchup here against the Titans here on the road isn't the greatest. It's not the best matchup to be playing against. However, he's getting touches in a high-volume offense. The thing about this matchup, you can see it going 2 ways. Titans started off slow, and the Chargers don't convert early, and the Titans are running clock. Chargers are behind a little bit, but it's a slow game. We're hitting the under here. Or the Chargers come out firing or moving the football. Titans have to keep up. And you know what? We get a little bit of a barn burner. The thing about this with the Chargers is this is a very game script dependent matchup here. because the Titans know they got to keep the clock slow here. They know they got to run the clock here because they do not want the Chargers to fast break on them this week. And they have the weapons to do so with Derrick Henry. So the thing about this is a matchup that could go either way. However, Kelley's using the passing game. It's not near as optimal as Ekeler. It's not even close to that. But the touches, the workload, the opportunity, the odds in his favor to get some production is good to see. I don't see him having a top-end game this week. I don't see that happening. I just don't see that with this matchup, especially if it goes according to plan. I see it happening. If it doesn't go according to plan, Titans have to move the ball a little quicker. Maybe they catch the lead in the middle of the game. Chargers got to come back. They got to throw a little bit more. They got to move a little bit faster. Maybe Chargers gets the lead later and they got to run it out. They use Kelley a bit. Maybe that's when you get some fancy production. But honestly, you're going to hope he falls in the end zone. And you're going to hope that this game script runs fast. Because if the Titans get what they want, they're going to keep it slow. They're going to keep the offense off the field for the Chargers. And they're going to have things go their way. But if things go the Chargers' way, Kelley's going to be on the field. He's going to be seeing targets in the flat. They're going to be moving the chains. And they're going to be scoring points because this is what this team wants to do. Looking at the fantasy rankings at 4for4.com, along with their projections, right now they got him at RB20. So the guys in his area, James Conner, White, Madison, Montgomery, Cook, Jones, Miles Sanders, when they got him in the projections, it's all very similar. So they got him as a trendy RB2 in fantasy this week. Dameon Pierce, Isaiah Pacheco, Javonte Williams in that range. So really, it's really due to the matchup. If this matchup was more favorable, he'd be boosted up quite a bit. But would you take him over White? Would you take him over Connor? Would you take him over Montgomery? I like Montgomery a little bit better due to the matchup, due to the offense there, due to the workload we saw him in. James Cook and him could be kind of a push. Cook's used more in the passing game, so if you're not in PPR, you may want to lean Kelley there. Aaron Jones, more than likely going to be out, right? Miles Sanders in a stagnant offense, really, and they're going to be in a weird game script, and he's splitting carries with Chuba. You may like Kelley better than that. You got Dameon Pierce here. That's a weird game script that's going to be hard to predict. They also did not hit very well in the yards per carry as a team there last week. Isaiah Pacheco, it's hard to bet against them in this matchup here against the Jaguars, but they are on the road. Javonte Williams in a slow game script here. When you're looking at the Broncos and Washington, you got Jamal Williams here. Going to be getting touches. Should have the lead late in the game. He's a guy that I think is ranked a little bit low on them. Breece Hall's so explosive. He's so explosive against the Cowboys. They're going to be trying to keep up if Zach Wilson turns over the ball. That's a rough game script, though. But again, he's so explosive. He can score you a ton of fantasy points on just a couple carries. But Joshua Kelley's in this range. He's in this range. It's a push with a lot of these guys. So it really depends on what you want. And a lot of times you just got to flip a coin because that's just how football works. That's just how football works. I can tell you, I can give you a guess. But really, outside of that, I'm giving you a guess there. But you need them because you need upside touches. You need this game script to go your way. You need him for the long term. Ekeler's got an ankle injury. Ankle injuries can last a good bit. That being said, Kelley could be the guy in this offense for a good bit. That means he needs to be on your radar no matter what. Even if he falls on his face this week, you're still going to want him. You're still going to want him. If he falls on his face this week and his manager drops him, scoop him up because he's in this offense and he can get you production on any week. Players fall on their face in good offenses, good situations all the time, and then come back the next week. So if he falls on his face this week, still look at him and pick him up because Ekeler's come back from the injury and he's getting workload. They want to use him. They want to use two running backs. He's given production. He's proven so far this season. And we know from last year, he is a trendy handcuffed back. You don't need him because you're good at running back. You don't want the headache of another running back who's got these matchups that you got to worry about. You know Ekeler's coming back. You don't want to deal with that, and you're good. You're 6 running backs deep. You want running back heavy in your draft. You really are worried about wide receivers, and you're looking to get those off the waiver wire instead or through trade or whatever. But running back is a position you're looking at. I think when you're looking at Joshua Kelley, no matter what he does this week, because this matchup's kind of weird, I think you need to be looking at him. I think he's going to have a season where it's going to be up and down due to the volume, due to his role. but I think an up and down running back for a lot of people in fantasy, probably like the last 4 teams in your league, probably do need a running back like that to play the matchups with. If you're good at running back, you probably could use another one. The thing is, running backs get hurt, and the thing is, he's getting opportunity in a fast-paced offense, and he's going to be in a lot better game scripts than this one. And if he falls on his face this week, it might be a blessing, because that could give you the opportunity to catch him on the cheap next week, and I would definitely do that. If anything, if I don't have him on my team, I'm hoping that the matchup fails and it doesn't go his way, and you can catch him for cheap off the waiver wire or through trade the following week, because the opportunity is going to be there. He's going to give you some splash matchups, and he could be a guy on the back end of your roster that you can play the matchups with. And that's what you're wanting with some of these upside running backs anyway, some of these rookies. Now you got a guy here, a younger running back. He's 25 years old, got some upside in his game, but the game script, the flow of the offense really presents the upside here. So really my take is just see what happens with him. He's an RB2-ish this week. If he fails this week, if he busts, still get him. Still get him, because long-term wise, he's going to be in matches where he's going to provide fantasy output. He's going to have opportunities, and his upside's going to be grand. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Catch you on the next video.